Hello. So I want to do a video about like a Rufus, Arachne, Dante team. Like this is a team that a lot of people seem to struggle with. In Guild War, like I said, my guild actually struggled with that line today, like some of my other guild mates, and I'm not 100% sure why, because the solution to that line is actually pretty easy. And there's actually pretty much four, like I said, it's pretty much so you'll have a line that looks something like this. You'll have Rufus, Arachne, Dante, Sebastian, and then a healer. I actually have four versions of these with different healers here. Um, but the solution to all these lines is pretty much the same one. Doesn't really matter which healer you use. I mean, there's a bit different like things. Arachne plus Maya, like I said, Maya could be really dangerous. The healing's weaker on that one. Celeste can sometimes get you and stuff, but right. But the answer of the team I beat this with though is I always use the Yasmin Morgan line plus Holy Trinity. Right, so Celeste can sometimes snipe Yasmin, so there is a bit of randoms, and Yasmin could be random, but this is one of the best lines to defeat these Rufus, Dante, Arachne teams with. Right, the Holy Trinity is a very good trio. You have Yasmin, she buffs critical hit. Sebastian also buffs critical hit, and then Morgan, she buffs armor penetration. That's a stat that Yasmin does not have naturally. Yasmin doesn't have any innate armor penetration, so the only way for Yasmin to get it is either to patron Fenris on her or to put her in a team with like armor penetration buff. And the other thing is that Morgan's minions that she summons, right? She summons all of her little skeletons and stuff. These things, they do not have critical hit normally, but because of Yasmin and Sebastian buffing critical hit, they now have critical hit, which also helps her minions up. So this actually is a team with a lot of synergy. It works quite well, and like I said, Morgan, of course, a hard counter to Rufus, and Dante and Arachne, with all these minions out, it really messes up their targeting. They start hitting all these minions instead of your team. Like I said, you see Arachne's things there, her demolition drone hit one of the things, like I said, and it kind of causes a lot of chaos to these kind of teams. Rather, like I said, and then of course, Axel also pretty much allows the minions to benefit from the redirection. So this is a very, very like synergistic team, and it works really well against these Rufus, Arachne, Dante teams. Right, and just other key important thing to note, you always want Kayn on Aurora versus Dante here, because you do need her to dodge spam buff to kind of protect you from all his ults and stuff, right? And you put Albus on Yasmin here. Like I said, not all over on Aurora and whatever. Like you want all over on Morgan, Axel on Celeste, and then Kayn on Aurora, and then Albus on Yasmin. You could probably make a case for Fenris on Yasmin and Albus on Sebastian. That would probably work too, but generally, like I said, I usually do it this way with Albus on Yasmin. That seems to get more consistent results, but like I said, that one probably doesn't matter too much. You could probably switch Sebastian with Yasmin's Patron if you wanted. Fenris on Yasmin and then Albus on Sebastian. That probably produce similar results, but the other ones you definitely want Kayn on Aurora, Axel on Celeste, and Oliver on Morgan. And then, as like I said, you had Morgan took the most damage. I think that's because of her minions taking the damage there. Healing, Celeste did some healing, and Morgan did some healing there. So, pretty good fight there. Aurora did the most DPS, followed by Yasmin. Celeste did a lot. Dante did a lot, but a lot of it's to minions, because a lot said Morgan taking that damage there. So let's show the next one. This one is with a Martha line. This has Martha as the healer. All right, this should be similar. Like the next two with Thea and Maya, those ones are a bit had a bit different results. Those ones are a bit tougher. I mean, sometimes with the Celeste line, like Yasmin can sometimes get sniped by Celeste. That is one risk you have, but generally speaking, with Axel and stuff and the minion stuff, it doesn't happen too often, because the minions cause enough chaos to these kinds of lines to really protect Yasmin. To reduce sniping, yes, sometimes you get sniped or whatever, but like I said, but plus with the dodge spamming from Aurora, she's gonna dodge a lot of physical hits. And like I said, Celeste dies here, but like I said, Celeste did her part. Like I said, she put down the Cursed Flame, and Aurora's gonna keep Martha's teapot off. Rufus is on his last limbs here, and he's gone because Morgan hard counters Rufus. Right, and the other key point is that Yasmin also blocks healing, not as effective as Celeste because it can be dispelled with like a Purifying Sphere or whatever, or like Nebula's Serenity ability. But it's like I said, it does well enough, especially if they don't have either Nebula or Celeste. So, but you know, this is a win here. You know, like I said, but you see all those pure damage hits. Like I said, the Albus on Yasmin greatly increases the amount of pure damage she does with her poison ticks. Plus, you see all those crits there from all the minions and stuff with the still like going, which has that activates Sebastian Battle Song. So it's a very synergistic team. This team has so much going for it. It's a very good line, especially beat these Rufus kind of teams. Right. Damage taken, of course, Morgan take the most damage. Those minions redirect a whole lot of damage. So Morgan ends up kind of being the main tank for these fights. So it actually works really well. And she actually ended up be healing a lot too because of her minions taking all the damage. Like I said, so Morgan, like I said, this is just a really good line. In general, I really like this line. It is one of the best Morgan and Yasmin. It's been one of the best lines for Morgan because it just has, she has so much synergy with Yasmin and Sebastian. So the next one, this is with Thea. This one is end up being a bit tougher because the thing about Thea's passive is that it works even after she's dead. So this can actually make it a bit trickier. But those dodge buff spams, that's a very important aspect to beating Dante, is to try to put up a bunch of dodge buffs. That's why you'll see me bring Kane a lot against like the teams where Dante's at the frontmost spot, because like I said, that dodge, that dodge is very effective versus Dante, having dodge buffed. Right, Celeste gets picked again. Right, she's usually the first to die in this line here. But you see Thea has her passive going. So she finally dies, and now you have a minion here in the back from the Necromancy. Now they're all facing there, and you see Dante wasting spears on him. Like I said, and you have Arachne attacking that. So this cause, like I said, those minions cause so much chaos to the Arachne Dante lines. It just redirects a lot of damage, and this just gives Yasmin time to go to work. Right, we see how Dante has that spinny thing. That's Thea's passive. That works even after Thea's dead. So this does make it a bit tricky because Thea is still a threat even after she's dead. Because that passive haste, that SOS haste, is pretty dangerous because it gives them a lot more speed. Right, so Aurora died. Yasmin is close to death. And we're out of healing. So like I said, this ends up being pretty tricky because that Thea passive is really working. Like I said, it really just does a lot of work for them. Like Yasmin dies here, so we're really just kind of depending on Morgan here, and those Dante spears really getting them. But Morgan's able to finish it off. But that ended up being a lot closer than the other ones because Thea's passive is really strong. A lot of people underestimate Thea, but I did a video about her a while back, like probably a couple weeks ago, about how she's honestly probably better than Martha now. But look at all that damage Dante did. He did massive damage. Massive damage, like over 5 million. But of course, look at that, it's all the Morgan's minions. And that's the thing about Morgan, is that she's kind of like almost like she's almost like a tank in her own, like kind of like an off tank, because those minions take a whole lot of damage for your team. So she kind of fulfills like a role of like an off tank. She can't really main tank because obviously it takes some time for the minions to get going. But once they get going, my gosh, does she take a hit. And because with Axel, those also work really well with Bubbles of Justice, so they redirect the damage between the minions. But Rufus took some hits here. Like I said, he had a lot of healing from Thea and the Oliver patron. Like, look at all that Oliver patron healing there. Like I said, took a minute to get him, but Morgan did a lot of healing because her minions did so much. Celeste died pretty early. But this was a win. It was a lot closer than the other ones, but like I said, and sometimes this will be lost because, you know, there is a lot of randomness going on with all the dodge and critical hit effects going on. Lots of randomness here, but this team is pretty strong. Should beat the Rufus, Arachne, Dante teams most of the time. And then there's one more. This one is with Maya. Other people start hitting this one. So this is with a Maya. Maya with Arachne can be a really strong combo. It's a pairing I use a lot. Arachne Maya, the Holy Trinity is a really good team, but this is also a good team here. Like Maya right here is the only healer. Like she doesn't do as much healing as the other healers, like the Celeste or Martha, but she does enough most of the time to keep her team up, like especially in a team like this that has other ways to mitigate damage. And Axel boosts the healing and whatnot with the bubbles with the what is it? That gosh, his other ability, not the bubbles of justice, the other one. But no, but Amaya's gonna do a lot of damage here. Once she gets going, like I said, Rufus already gone, but she is now the front most hero, and she's gonna probably ult a few times here. So she also buffs magic defense when she ults, which is also a really good buff. But that is, look at all the pure damage happening, and like Yasmin is really close to death, but Celeste here is here to cure the pure damage. But Maya though, like goes into another flower, and all that pure damage, like said, and we got some stuns happening. Like Ode to Serenity was stripped by Maya, so stuns are happening. A lot of damage is happening. Like I said, so it gets kind of dangerous here. Like I said, because Maya had Biscuit Patron here and was able to strip Ode to Serenity. And because of how they're actually just right, they're just in the right spot for Arachne to kind of keep them stunned for a bit. She is distracted by the minions, but like I said, they're just right getting hit by the drone strikes right here. So there's not a lot they can do right here. And, so this is just going to take a second here till the stuns wear off. And they're getting chain stunned right now. But with that minion out of the way that Arachne just killed, that should redirect her ult elsewhere. Her next ult, next time she ults, it's going to be over here. So this is actually going to give Sebastian some time to free up. Like I said, because then she's stunned over here, and then eventually he'll get an Ode to Serenity up here. Yep, but she actually, he didn't get to go that far, but she ended up dying for the pure damage from Yasmin. So, but no, look at that damage that Maya did here. That's a lot of damage. And that's, like I said, this is in many ways the most dangerous version of this team. Because Maya is such a threat on her own, and she can help strip Ode to Serenity to let Arachne get to work more easily. Morgan again taking damage like a champ, then healing. Celeste did a lot, but Morgan again. Like, so yeah. No, this is, like I said, just a good team. Like I said, if the Rufus, Arachne, Dante team, don't be intimidated by it. Like, it is a tough team, but like I said, this is the counter here. The Holy Trinity plus Morgan, Yasmin. That is the counter to the Rufus, Dante, Arachne teams. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video fun and informative. Thank you for watching.